Hey everyone, welcome to this absolutely power-packed explainer. आज हम master करेंगे CBSE Class 10 Geography का Chapter 1, which is Resources and Development. Welcome students. This is going to be a super high-energy session. Honestly, we are going to cover this chapter so perfectly that you might not even need to open your textbook afterwards. My goal today is to make these concepts crystal clear, so you are 100% board exam ready. Let's get right into it.
आज के इस एक्सप्लेनर में हम ये 6 वीआईपी टॉपिक्स कवर करने वाले हैं। नंबर 1, व्हाट आर रिसोर्सेज। नंबर 2, क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज। 3, लैंड रिसोर्सेज एंड डिप्लीशन। 4, प्लानिंग एंड कंजर्वेशन। 5, soil as a resource. And finally, number 6, a quick exam revision. We're going step by step, so just stay with me. This flow is literally designed to help you memorize the whole chapter effortlessly.
All right, Section 1, what are resources? Let's just start with the most basic, fundamental question of the entire syllabus. I want you to literally look around your room right now. You probably see your phone, maybe a desk, a water bottle, or the fan up above you. Are all of these things resources? I mean, how do we actually define if something is a legitimate resource or just a random object taking up space?
Well, here is the exact definition. A resource is anything in our environment that satisfies our needs. But wait, there is a catch here. Board exams में ये 3 magic words ज़रूर लिखना. It absolutely must be technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. Think about it. If you find a massive gold mine miles beneath the earth, but you don't actually have the technology to extract it, or it costs way too much money to dig up, it's just not a resource yet.
So now that we know what a resource actually is, we need to organize them. Let's move straight to Section 2, Classification of Resources.
Take a mental screenshot of this matrix right here because it perfectly breaks down how we classify things. First up, by origin. Biotic basically means living things, while abiotic means non-living, like rocks. By ownership, we range from your individual property all the way to international oceanic zones. And finally, status of development. This one's crucial. Potential resources exist but aren't being used yet. Stock means we have the material, like using water for hydrogen energy, but we completely lack the technology to actually use it. And reserves are just a subset of stock that we can use, but we're smartly saving for the future. And hey, always remember the simple difference between natural resources given to us by the earth and human-made ones like buildings and roads.
But listen, the absolute most important classification for your exams is based on exhaustibility. This is a classic differentiate between board question, renewable versus non-renewable. Renewable resources recharge or replenish themselves super fast, like solar and wind energy. But non-renewables like coal and petroleum, those take millions of years to form. Once you burn that coal in a power plant, that's it. It is gone forever.
And speaking of things disappearing forever, let's talk about the literal ground we stand on. Section 3, Land Resources and Depletion. Because guys, we are using these resources so indiscriminately that we're facing a massive crisis.
Now, India's land distribution is actually brilliantly balanced. 43% of our land is plains, which is fantastic because that is exactly where we do our agriculture and build our industries. 30% is mountains, which ensures our beautiful rivers keep flowing year-round. And the remaining 27% are plateaus, and these act as absolute treasure chests, rich in minerals and fossil fuels.
But here is the real tragedy. Human activities are completely destroying this land. If you look at Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh, heavy mining is leaving deep, permanent scars on the earth. In Gujarat and Rajasthan, overgrazing by animals is severely degrading the land. And in huge agricultural hubs like Punjab and Haryana, over-irrigation is causing terrible waterlogging, making the soil salty and practically useless.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Mahatma Gandhi ji nailed the core issue here decades ago with this famous quote. He said, "There is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed." It's greedy individuals and the highly exploitative nature of modern technology that are the root cause of resource depletion globally. So if human greed is the main problem here, then careful, calculated national planning has to be the solution. Let's look at Section 4, Resource Planning and Conservation.
You know, India is huge and incredibly diverse. Rajasthan has amazing solar energy but really lacks water. Arunachal Pradesh has abundant water, but literally no infrastructure. Because of this, India uses a complex 3-step resource planning process. Step 1, identify and map exactly what we have. Step 2, build an institutional structure with the right technology and skills to extract it. And Step 3, match that specific resource plan with the overall development goals of the entire nation.
It's like a giant puzzle. Next up, let's zoom in on something we take for granted every single day. Section 5, Soil as a Resource. It's actually our most important renewable natural resource.
We so often just treat dirt like it's nothing, but soil is a living, breathing system. It literally takes millions of years for nature to form just a few centimeters of topsoil. Millions of years! Yet bad farming practices or a few heavy rains can wash all that history away in an instant.
And India has amazingly diverse soils. Alluvial soil is the most widespread and fertile. It covers our entire northern plains. Then there's black soil, also called regular soil, heavily found in Maharashtra, and it is perfectly suited for growing cotton. Plus, we have red and yellow soils in areas with low rainfall, laterite soils in tropical regions, arid soils out in the deserts, and forest soils high up in the mountains.
Okay, wake up if you zoned out, because this right here is an examiner favorite board question. How do we divide alluvial soil by age? Listen closely. Bangar is the older alluvial soil. It's coarser and has a lot of conker nodules. On the other hand, Kadar is the newly deposited alluvial soil. It has very fine particles and is extremely fertile. Just remember, Kadar is new, Bangar is old. Mark this as super important.
Of course, with soil erosion constantly threatening our food supply, we have to protect it. We can actually stop soil erosion using these proven techniques. We use contour plowing across slopes to stop water flow. We carve step-like terrace farming up in the Himalayas. We leave strips of grass between crops to break the wind force, known as strip cropping, and we plant long lines of trees called shelter belts to stabilize sand dunes in desert areas.
All right, you guys have absorbed a ton of information today. It is time for Section 6 Quick Exam Revision. Let's test your active recall and see what's stuck.
First, rapid-fire question. Think fast. How do we classify resources based purely on their origin? Are they living or non-living? What were the exact terms we used?
Boom, that's right, biotic and abiotic. Biotic meaning living things from the biosphere, like forests and animals, versus abiotic, which are non-living things like rocks and metals.
Second question. We talked about different states ruining their land in totally different ways. What is the specific human activity destroying the land in the massive agricultural hubs of Punjab and Haryana?
If you guessed over-irrigation, you nailed it. Pumping way too much water creates severe waterlogging, which completely ruins the soil quality by increasing salinity and alkalinity. If you got both of those right, your prep is absolutely on track.
You are now completely ready to ace this chapter in your board exams. But as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought, echoing Gandhiji. We have enough for our need, but not our greed. Knowing what you know now about how incredibly fragile our land and soil truly are, what small step will you take today to conserve our planet's resources? Think about it. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next session. Keep revising.